Hi, my name is Alisha and I'm currently a senior studying political science, and today we will be talking to Professor Laurie Johnson, who's a professor in the Germanic Studies department. Thank you, Professor Johnson, for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
How long have you been with the U of I, and what did you do before coming here?
So I have been with the University of Illinois for 21 years, and I know this because shortly after I got here, I had a baby, and that baby just turned 21, so easy to keep track. And before I got here, I taught all kinds of places, small liberal arts college, community college, private university, and without a doubt, the big state research university is my favorite. It's the best. It's why I've been here this long. Yep.
What would you say then, speaking of research, is your research expertise?
So I started out in Romanicism, which is a period from about the 1790s to the 1840s. And romantics, philosophers, authors, scientists, they're all reacting to this period of the Enlightenment in Europe, which is a period of intense seismic change. So if you study Romanticism, you really study how people react to change or what they perceive as change, for better or worse.
So what would you say you find to be the most fascinating part about German studies as a field to study?
So with German studies, you're right in the heart of Europe, and it's important also, whether it's German, whether it's Spanish, French, whether it's a completely different language, that you look at not only how that culture influences others, but how other cultures influence it. So you're really right in the middle of this melting pot that I think is fascinating.
What would you say is your favorite course to teach, and why?
So I would have said, and I do love teaching small seminar-style classes, but my favorite over the years, absolutely this big class I teach on the Grimm's fairy tales. And when I first was told I would be teaching that class, I thought it would be bogus, because how can I spend a semester teaching Little Red Riding Hood? That's stupid. But actually, I was so wrong. I love it because fairy tales have everything in them. The most primal feelings and the biggest ideas are all in fairy tales. And so I love that class.
What's a project that you're working on now that you're excited about?
So because I get to teach so many different things, I got inspired by teaching a class on documentary film to work on, weirdly, the romantic aspects of documentary film. I'm really excited about that right now, sort of the ethical aspects. We want documentary to be authentic and as factual as possible, but also the aesthetic, stylized aspects of that that are more the romantic aspects. So I'm excited about that right now.
With everything going on in the world, why study German, and why is it especially important right now?
I mean, it's always important, I think, to be literate in more than one language, because not so much for, knowing more, which is always good too, but for being able to understand the world, approach the world in a different way. You also become a different person when you speak a different language, which is fascinating to explore yourself more. But also, really, for the history of ideas, studying some other cultures are very important to help us understand why we are where we are now at these, difficult moments where we find ourselves.
That's true. Okay, I have a couple of speed round questions, so if you're ready for those.
I am.
What's one piece of advice you'd give your 18-year-old self?
Relax. I would tell myself to relax. I had more time than I thought. Just enjoy it.
Okay, coffee or tea, and where would you get it?
So I'm unfamiliar with tea, but coffee, definitely. And even though I know it's a popular choice, it's popular for a reason. Espresso Royale makes a very good coffee. They also know me well. When they see me come in, they start making that medium Americano. Yep, get it going. Yep, so yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Who's another faculty member at U of I whose work has captured you?
So, Alisha, there are many superstars at this university. If I had to pick one, I would direct you to the mathematics department and a professor named Alexander Young. He is developing a class called Conversations in Mathematics, and I love conversations. So, but I was never that kid who got math. I was always like, I don't get it. And when Professor Young explains deep math to me, I actually get it. So he must be a very good professor.
What's the best book you've read this year?
I love science fiction of all kinds. My favorite book this year is a science fiction book called Exhalation by Ted Chiang. It's C-H-I-A-N-G. And there is a short story in that collection called The Truth of Fact, The Truth of Feeling, that I actually think every human should read. It's that good and it's that important. So Exhalation by Ted Chiang.
Yeah. That is my list. Okay, now this is a hard one. Orange or blue?
Both, of course, they go together, but blue, if I had to pick.
Well, thank you, Professor Johnson, for joining us today. And thank you all for watching a video with 940 feet.